everybody else right now.
All right.
First and foremost, we always like to give praise and honor to the God of Israel, which is Jesus the Christ. And today, first I want to let everybody know it's good to be out here on the Lord's Sabbath day. Praise and worship Him the way we're supposed to. I'm going to get right to the lesson. The title of the lesson is, Why Did God Create Man? Why did God create or make man? What is the purpose for all men and women on this earth? And that's the question that most people inside of the churches don't understand, why they go to church. And why do they come to church to read the Bible, to understand the business of God. And when you ask most people in the world inside the churches, they'll tell you something like, the answer's like, I'm going up to heaven to walk on the streets of gold with God and my grandma. Or God gave my brother and sister their wings to fly away. And I have to make sure everybody understands this, that if we don't understand the business of God and conduct it the right way, we're not going to be a part of His plan at the end. And that's the main reason I put this lesson together to make people understand we're not going anywhere. We're going to reign upon this earth forever. Forever. But we got to conduct the business of God. And believe me, He's looking for some people that He can hire. And we got to see what is in the application of God. And the application of God is this book. Reading it, understanding it, so we can apply for the job. So we're going to turn to Matthew chapter 5 to understand, why did God make man? And most of all, what is His purpose upon the earth? He chosen man to do something. And I have to tell people this all the time, God is creating God. He's trying to make us just like Him, having a spiritual body like He has. At one time, we're going to be able to call Him brother, and we're going to see that. And this is clueless to the world that God is creating beings upon this earth to be like Him. So we're going to turn to Matthew chapter 5, and we're going to start with verse 3 to set the tone here, to understand where the kingdom is going to be and when we're going to rule. Matthew chapter 5, we're going to start with verse 3. Go ahead, brother.
Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
He said, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. This poor in spirit, talking about your words. Our words don't mean a hill of beans in this world today. We poor in spirit. When we tell people what thus says the Lord about His dietary law, His Sabbaths, His holy days, and all these things that we must keep inside the book, it means nothing to them. Because we don't have the resources that they have. Go ahead.
Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth.
What? They're going to inherit what?
The earth.
The earth. The meek will inherit the earth. But what do we see today in the world? They tell us today in the world. We're going to heaven. So what did the Lord say there? Say that. Read it again.
Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled.
Yes, sir. Jump down to verse 12. Let's see something here. Let's see where's the reward. Go ahead.
Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven.
Yes, sir.
For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you.
So we know the meek shall inherit the earth, and also we know that the reward that God has for us is in heaven. But most people read that and they say, well, we got to go to heaven to get it, or He's going to bring us up to heaven to get it. No, He's talking about the earth. He's going to bring it here. He's going to bring it here in this world atmosphere so we can inherit the earth with godly bodies. Let's turn to, I'm going to get off. Let's turn to Psalms 132. Let me show you something real quick. Show you that God chose the earth God chose the earth to rule in instead of ruling in heaven. And he has a place. If man don't understand this, he's not going to be a part of the God family. Psalms 132, we're going to start with verse 11. Go ahead.
The Lord hath sworn in truth unto David.
Yes, sir.
He will not turn from it. Of the fruit of thy body will I set up thy throne.
He said the Lord has sworn. He made a promise to King David that his fruit says sit on the throne. And that fruit that sit on the throne is going to be Jesus, and it's going to be some of us. It's going to be more than just one throne. It's going to be many thrones. Go ahead. 12.
If thy children will keep my covenant and my testimony that I shall teach them,
Yes, sir.
their children shall also sit upon thy throne forevermore.
Whoa, so we going to sit up on the throne forevermore?
Yes, sir.
So you got to understand the business of God. We're going to sit up on the throne. But if you telling me when I die I'm going to heaven, what business are you conducting? You conducting Satan business. Because Satan is the only one said he wants to go back to heaven. Isaiah chapter 14 tell you that. He said, I want to ascend upon the stars of God. The stars of God is not just talking about the solar system. He's talking about the angels. Period. This is what he wanted to do. But go ahead.
13. For the Lord hath chosen Zion.
The Lord chosen what?
Chosen Zion.
Go ahead.
He hath desired it for his habitation.
He has desired it for his habitation. What is habitation?
Amen.
You got to live somewhere. If he chose this place, we got to know where this place is.
That's right.
Zion is Israel. You can say, people say, I'm going back to Africa. What part of Africa? Zion is a part of Africa, which is Jerusalem. Period. Go ahead, brother.
14. This is my rest forever.
Wait a minute. The Lord said, this is my rest forever? Go ahead.
Here will I dwell, for I have desired it.
So if the Lord say he desired to come there, why are you going back to heaven? Why are you saying that heaven is created for you up in the stars, above the stars, which is the third heaven, where Jesus and the Father and the angels are? You can't go. Period. God didn't create man for that. Let me show you also, let me let Jesus tell you, since you won't believe me. Let's go to John chapter 3. John chapter 3, because when we say stuff, they think we lying when we say nobody's going to heaven. So we're going to let Jesus tell you. John chapter 3, we're going to start with verse 12. To make sure we all are on the same page. Because when many people out in the world, they see movies, they didn't see cartoons, where a person dies and their spirit just floats back in and up to heaven. If you believe that, you're going straight to hell. I'm telling you, you're going to hell now. You believe in that because that is a lie. Satan is the only one saying he want to go back to heaven. God is not taking us to heaven. John chapter 3, verse 12. Go ahead.
If I have told you earthly things and you believe not, how shall you believe if I tell you of the heavenly things?
See, God asking a question. He's like, look, man, if I told you earthly things, you don't believe me. So I'm telling you heavenly things. You still won't believe me. I'm telling you earthly things that man is going to live on this earth forever. And most people say, no, Jeff, I'm going to heaven. God didn't make you for that. He didn't make man for that. He said, now I'm going to tell you, he said, I'm going to tell you heavenly things. Let's see what's going into heavenly things. Go ahead.
And no man hath ascended up to heaven, but he that came down from heaven, even the Son of Man which is in heaven.
How absolute is no? No man has ascended up to heaven. But they tell me, Jeff, Elijah went up to heaven. Excuse me. Elijah went up to heaven. He tell me Enoch went up to heaven. He was translated. But you don't understand. There's three heavens. One you're standing on. The second one is the atmosphere. And the third heaven was God and his angels are. Enoch and Elijah are in the second part of this realm, under the chains of darkness. That's another lesson. But people don't understand it. You just can't read heaven in the Bible and all of a sudden you think it's up there with God. You got to be really, really definitive of what you're saying about heaven. Let's go to John chapter 8. Let's look at it again. John 8 and 20. Why did God make man? Did he make him to inherit heaven? Or did he make him to inherit this earth? And most of all, what is this man's body going to be like? I'm telling you, you don't want to be God. You're in the wrong place. You serving the wrong God. If you don't want to be God, that's what God recreated. He created a family of gods. There's only two in the Godhead right now, the Father and the Son. That's it. And all the rest of them are angels up there. He waited on us. This is why he created us. John chapter 8, and we start at verse 20. Let Jesus say it again. Go ahead.
These words spake Jesus in the treasury as he taught in the temple.
Yes, sir.
And no man laid hands on him, for his hour was not yet come.
So Jesus teaching the people. And what did he say? Go ahead.
Then said Jesus again unto them, I go my way, and ye shall seek me, and shall die in your sins. Whither I go, ye cannot come.
Where did Jesus go? He went to heaven. He said, where I go, you can't come. Period. Go ahead.
Then said the Jews, will he kill himself? Because he said, whither I go, you cannot come.
That's how some of the people thinking like, man, Jesus don't want me to heaven with him. No, you got to understand the business. You got to understand the business of God. He conduct his business through understanding the scriptures. Go ahead.
23. And he said unto them, ye are from beneath, I am from above.
Yes, sir.
Ye are of this world, I am not of this world.
How simple can that be? You from this world. Period. I made you for this world, on earth, not heaven. God created man to rule and reign this world, earth. And right now, he's not upon this earth, but when he come back, he's going to set up a family of gods. Let me show you something. Let's go to Psalms 82. We got one more. Go ahead.
I said therefore unto you, that ye shall die in your sins. For if ye believe not that I am he, ye shall die in your sins.
If you don't believe that you're not going to heaven, you're going to die in your sins. If you don't believe in this law and why were you supposed to conduct the business of God, you're going to die in your sins. Stop believing fables. Stop believing cartoons. Stop believing movies, because these movies are not depicting what the Word of God says. Why did God create man? This is what I'm getting to. Let's go to Psalms 82. Psalms 82. It's a great reward, but we selling out over money. We selling out over cars, clothes. We selling out over all this crazy stuff. We got a great reward on the table. You got a chance to be God. You got a chance to learn how to create a son. I ain't talking about the S-O-N. We know how to create sons. We talking about S-U-N. Because he said he going to teach you all this. You're going to have all power just like him. Amen. Psalms 82 and verse 1. Go ahead.
God standeth in the congregation of the mighty.
Yes, sir.
He judges among the gods.
Wait a minute. God standing in the congregation of the mighty, and he judging amongst the gods? So we know God ain't judging Jesus, and Jesus ain't judging God, because those are the only two in the Godhead. So this got to be another time frame here. Jump down to verse 7. Let me show you. Go ahead.
But ye shall die like men.
Excuse me. Verse 5.
Okay. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course.
When we tell the people that you're not going to heaven, they look at us like we're crazy. You don't understand. But what did God tell you about his business? About what is he doing with man? Go ahead.
I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High.
Wait a minute. God said right now, we are gods? Little G right here. We little G right now, but we're going to be big G in a minute. Go ahead.
7. But ye shall die like men, and fall like one of the princes.
What did Jesus say in John chapter 8? Because you won't believe the operation of God, you're going to die like men. You're going to die. He's recreating himself through us. Let's go to Revelation chapter 20. Let's see when we will stand in the congregation of the mighty. It's all right here. But if you don't understand the operation of God, you cannot conduct a business. You cannot tell people how to be saved. You will do more damage to your own soul. People that want to be preachers, boy, hey, you better know what you're doing. Because if you tell one person wrong, he gonna tell another person, the source gonna go back to you. And you're gonna have to be judged for every person you lead wrong.
Exactly. Amen.
I'm gonna be judged for every person you lead wrong. Keep it simple.
That's right.
Revelation chapter 20, we're gonna start with verse 4. Let's see when is this, we're gonna stand in the congregation of the mighty, and he judges amongst the gods. Go ahead, verse 4.
And I saw thrones,
Yes, sir.
and they sat upon them.
Wait a minute, he saw what?
Thrones.
Thrones with an S. And they sat upon them. So it's more than just Jesus sitting upon the throne of David. It's a lot of thrones. But do you know that you can be one of these ones to sit upon the thrones? Go ahead.
And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them.
Yes, sir.
And judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus.
He said when he's seeing these people sitting upon the throne, he's in judgment was given to them. Do you know that we're going to judge the world? And most of all, we will judge angels also? If you make it right here, this is what God making you for. This is what God making man for, to be help him judge. Go ahead.
And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus and for the word of God.
There's going to be some tough stuff to go through just to get on the throne now. Beheaded. That means that you got to die for this. Some people going to die for this. Get it in your head. Understand this. Don't be sitting up there like, no, I ain't going to die. I'm going to pick my way to die. I'm going to die old. No, some of us might die like this, being beheaded. Go ahead.
And which had, and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast,
Yes, sir.
neither his image, neither have received his mark upon their foreheads, or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years.
This is the qualification to be in the congregation of the God. This is the qualification to be God. A lot of it, not taking the mark of the beast. What is that? You're not worshiping this king that they're going to sit upon this earth. And he's going to tell you how to worship him. And you're going to bow down to him. If you don't bow down to him, he's going to kill you. Some of them going to be beheaded. But God said, look, these people will reign with me for 1,000 years. Put a time period on it. Go ahead.
But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished.
Yes, sir.
This is the first resurrection.
Understand this. You don't want to come up in the second resurrection. You might not make it. This is the first resurrection right here. You blessed if you get in this resurrection. These people right here are going to become gods. Go ahead.
6. Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection.
So I told you, the one that get in this first resurrection and understand how to obtain salvation, you blessed. You blessed. Don't think, well, I just get it right the second time. You might not make it. Go ahead.
On such the second death hath no power,
Yes, sir.
but they shall be priests of God and of Christ, and shall reign with him 1,000 years.
See, they're going to be priests of God and shall reign with him for how long? 1,000 years. This is what we got to understand, that if you sit up on the thrones, you're going to become God. G-O-D, God. Period. With power in your hand. Let me show you what you're going to be doing. Revelation chapter 2 and verse 24. It's all here. Why did God create man? He didn't create man to go be flying off into heaven. So I got my wings. I'm going to walk on the streets of gold and do all this stuff in heaven. He created man to live right here. Revelation chapter 2, verse 24. Revelation chapter 2, verse 24. Let's see who will reign with him for 1,000 years. And what is their job? Go ahead, brother, verse 24.
But unto you I say, and unto the rest in Thyatira, as many as have not this doctrine.
Now this is Thyatira. This is the church, one of the 7 churches that he's talking to about who's going to be in the kingdom of God and becoming God. We're not dealing with the 7 churches, but I want to make sure you understand what's your reward, what you will get. Go ahead.
As many as have not this doctrine, which have not known the depths of Satan.
Now many of our people don't know this doctrine. They don't know that God is creating God in us. They don't know it. He said, what now? Many of us don't know that which have not known the depths of Satan. Satan's depths are real deep. He'll fool you like you going to heaven. He'll fool you like your grandmama taught you last night from heaven. He'll fool you like your grandma looking down at you, protecting you. Them lies. Go ahead.
As they speak, I will put upon you none other burden.
Yes, sir.
But that which ye have already hold fast till I come.
He said, but that which you have already hold fast till I come. This doctrine, he wants us to hold fast to it. And we're dealing with one particular subject today. That is, why did God create man? Hold fast to this. For what? Go ahead.
26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works
yes, sir.
to the end, to him will I give power over the nations.
Wait a minute. He said him or he. He's talking about women too. Because when you become in the God family, you're going to be just like God, which is a man. He said, he that overcometh, keep the works until the end. Until the end. And he will give you power over the nations. Hallelujah. Power over the nation. People say, man, I thought we just going to go to heaven and just chill out. No, you got to run something. You're going to run something. Go ahead.
27. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron.
Yes, sir.
As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers.
He said, you're going to do what? Rule them with a rod of iron. So you mean to tell me I'm going to be in God's family and I'm going to be ruling? If you don't want to rule, you're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong place. This is what God looking for. This is the application. This is the business that we got to conduct. Period. Go ahead.
Even as I received of my Father.
Yeah, keep going. Keep going.
And I will give him the morning star.
Yes, sir.
He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches.
He said, I will give him the morning star. He's going to give you Jesus, and Jesus is going to tell you how to be God. The words that he has, he's going to tell you how to be God. He said, he didn't have an ear, let him hear. If you ain't got ears to hear this, you will not be in the family of God. Because this is what God created man for, to be just like him. Let's go to Psalms 149. Let's see what man will rule and how he will rule. All this stuff in here. Too much sometimes. I'm like, boy. Psalm 149, we're going to start with verse 1. Why did God make man? Did he make him fly away with wings on his back? Psalms 149, we're going to start at verse 1. Go ahead.
Praise ye the Lord. Sing unto the Lord a new song.
Yes, sir.
And his praise in the congregation of saints.
So we praising the Lord in the congregation of the saints, which are the congregation of the God. Whoever made the first cut.
Amen.
You didn't get cut from the team, you will be in this congregation. But if you got cut from the team, you got to come up in that second resurrection. You might not make it. So you got to get used to this. I want to run something. Because we sure ain't running nothing as a nation right now. We're going to run the kingdom. The money, we have money in the kingdom, we're going to have our face on it. Period. Go ahead.
2. Let Israel rejoice in him that made him.
Yes, sir.
Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king.
Because this is going to be a rejoiceful time. Go ahead.
Let them praise his name in the dance.
Yes, sir.
Let them sing praise unto him with the temporal and harp.
Yes, sir.
For the Lord taketh pleasure in his people. He will beautify the meek with salvation.
He said, the Lord taking pleasure, don't open that up. The Lord taking pleasure in his people, And he said he is going to make sure he set them up in the kingdom, because we know. He said, for the Lord taking pleasure in his people, and he will beauty the meek with salvation. Go ahead.
5. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds.
He said, let the saints be joyful. Who's that? Go ahead.
Let the high praises of God be in their mouth.
Yes, sir.
And a two-edged sword in their hand.
Yes, sir.
To execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishment upon the people.
He said right here, this is what we must do right here. He said, let the saints have a joyful noise and let them sing upon their beds. Let the high praises of God be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand. Wait a minute, what we doing with the two-edged swords in our hand? Believe me, you got to rule this world. And God you're gonna rule this world with an iron fist. They're gonna have a double-edged sword in their hand. Go ahead.
To bind their kings with chains. And
verse 7, go ahead.
Start with verse 7.
Yeah.
7. To execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishment upon the people.
See what he says there? This is what you got to do. To execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishment upon the people. That is your job description. When they're not doing the right, you're going to tell that angel, bust his head. This is what people don't understand. God said he's making us to have dominion upon this earth. It ain't going to be nowhere you just running your opinion to him. No. You got to make sure you understand this, and I got to make sure I understand this. Because in the 1,000-year resurrection and 1,000-year Sabbath that we're going to have, this is what's going on. This is our power. Go ahead.
8. To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron.
This is what we're going to do. Y'all want to put white folks in jail? Y'all want to chain them up? Y'all have an opportunity right here, and you're going to do it righteous. Because they are going to be breaking the covenant, and we're going to put them in jail and do them righteous. We ain't going to do them like they did us. They punished us. God said to Zechariah, he said they went above with their punishment. They ain't supposed to do all that. But we're going to do it righteous. Go ahead.
To execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Praise ye the Lord.
Wait a minute. He said to execute upon the judgment written. This is written. He said the honor have all his saints. This is your power right here. If you become God, just like God telling us right here, this is your power. If you don't want to do this, you're in the wrong spot. Let's go to Luke chapter 19. Let's see how God hires his people. Because he has a government. And most of all, this is Jesus' government right now. We ain't even went to the Father government. This 1,000 year we're looking at right now, this is Jesus when he's sitting on David's throne. And like I say, the title of the message is, why did God create man? Or why did God make man? He made him to rule and reign the earth. Period. Luke chapter 19. We're going to start with verse 11. To understand the qualification to get this job, to help God run his government. It's one qualification. Verse 11, go ahead.
And as they heard these things, he added and spake in parable.
Yes, sir.
Because he was nigh to Jerusalem, and because they thought that the kingdom of God should immediately appear.
Understand that the disciple really didn't understand when Jesus was talking to them. He said, when I come back, I'm going to set up the government. They thought when he would die and was resurrected up, he was going to set up the government then. He said, no, it's not the time for that. All that stuff got to be fulfilled down in our day. We at the end of the world. But he's going to give them a parable to let them understand about his government, about his kingdom. Verse 12, go ahead.
He said, therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself the kingdom and to return.
This nobleman is Jesus. He went into the far country, that is heaven. To do what? To receive himself a kingdom, to return. He's going to return to the earth and sit on David's throne. Go ahead.
And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come.
Now he called 10 servants. He's giving us an example here. He called the 10 servants and he gave them some money. This is what you must do. A servant of God who making money in this world, you better be using your money to further the kingdom. Because this is going to be very important. He's going to check this when he comes back. Let me show you. Keep going.
But his citizens hated him and sent a message after him, saying, we will not have this man to reign over us.
They tell us this all the time. We don't want your Jesus. Your Jesus is on the Sabbath. My Jesus is on Sunday. My Jesus tells me if I pray over anything, I can eat it. But God, your Jesus said we got to have strict rules in Leviticus chapter 11. This is what people telling God when they reject him. He said, but his citizens hated him. Why are you talking about citizens? Go ahead, verse 15.
And it came to pass that when he was returned, having received the kingdom,
yes, sir.
And he commanded these servants to be called unto him, to whom he had given the money, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading.
Look what he said here. He said, when he returned, having received his kingdom, and then commanded his servants to be called unto him, and he said, let's talk about this bread I gave you. How did you further the kingdom? Did you waste it all on your lustful feelings, your cars, your houses, your whatever you wanted? Let's see. He checking them right here. What you did with your finances? Go ahead.
16. Then came the first, saying, Lord, thy pound hath gained 10 pounds.
He said, then came first, saying, Lord, that 1 pound you gave me, I brought you like 10 pounds. What, 1 pound of money? I gave you 10 pounds of money. So these people are reproducing for the kingdom. Go ahead.
And he said unto him, well, thou good servant, because thou hast been faithful in a very little, have thou authority over 10 cities.
Why he switched from running the earth? Now he's saying authority over 10 cities. Whether you know it or not, when this world when Jesus create his kingdom, he gonna give authority in each city of the world to a god. Just like Putin is a god over there in Russia, just like President Trump is the god over here, just like Kim Jong is a god over in China, we're going to be just like that, and we're going to run the government of God. But he's looking to see what we doing right now. What you doing with my bread? How are you consuming it? Now this is the reward. For the one that had 1 pound, he gave 10 pounds. He said, look, you're going to get 10 cities. This is a government we running here. This business. Go ahead.
18. And the second came, saying, Lord, thy pound hath gained 5 pounds.
He said, I gave you 5 pounds. Go ahead.
And he said likewise to him, be thou also over 5 cities.
So he giving out his domain, the God upon this earth. He giving out domain for him to run. He said, look, man, you take Africa over there, or you take China, or you take whatever, or you take a little city called Albania, or you take a little city over there in Russia. He making sure that he handing out jobs. He hiring them. All because he took this money and he did what he's supposed to do. This is my cry. I said, Lord, you gave me the money of being a barber. I bought this barber shop. I set up a serving class. I brought as many souls I can right here. This is my resume. This is my resume. I did with your money what I'm supposed to do. I look at this stuff all the time. How can I do better in my finances in God? Because I know He's going to check me on this. Go ahead.
20. And another came, saying, Lord, behold, here is thy pound, which I have kept laid up in a napkin.
This is one that kept it back in the bank. This is one that kept it in the house, covered up like, here's my money right here. Shoot, I worked too hard for this money. You think I'm finna go there and give it to the most bad pastor to get this money? No, I give him a little something. But what did Jesus say? Go ahead.
For I fear thee, because thou art an ostrich man.
Ostrich man means he's a strict man. This is his excuse. The man that took that 1 pound of money and he hid it in a napkin. He said, for I fear thee because art an austerious man or a strict man, go ahead.
Thou takest up that thou layest not down, and reapest that thou didst not sow.
He telling him, look, Lord, basically, I don't want to lose your money. So I just went and put it aside. I didn't do nothing with it. I didn't help your kingdom. Let's look what Jesus said to him. Go ahead.
22. And he said unto him, out of thine own mouth will I judge thee.
God said, out of your own mouth I will judge you. What he said? Go ahead.
Thou wicked servant.
Wait a minute. I'm wicked if I don't put forth my money to the gospel? Yes. This is one of the qualifications to get rulership in one of those cities. Stop holding on to this money now. I'm telling you. Do what you need to do. Instead of consuming it on your lust, put forth into the gospel. Go ahead.
Thou knowest that I was an austerity man.
Go ahead.
Taking up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow.
He going through his excuses. Go ahead.
Wherefore then gavest not thou my money into the bank, that at my coming I might have required my own with usury.
Jesus uses it. Listen what Jesus said. Wherefore thou gavest not my money unto the bank. You could have went to the bank and draw some interest off the money. If you scared that pastor or whoever it is going to give your money. He said you could have went to the bank and gave it to the bank to draw interest off the money and make it work toward the kingdom. Look what he said. He said, I may require it on usury. Usury means interest. You could have got some interest off your money, but you hid it in your hands for your doing. What Jesus said. Go ahead.
And he said unto them that stood by, take from him the pound and give it to him that have 10 pounds.
Go ahead.
And they said unto him, Lord, he hath 10 pounds. For I say unto you that unto everyone which hath shall be given.
Yes, sir.
And from him that hath not, even that he hath shall be taken away from him.
Because one thing about God, He's going to put the money in the person's hand who can work it. He's not going to put the money in most people's hand who going to consume it in their lust. That's why most of us, we live it from paycheck to paycheck, week to week, day to day. Because we trying to hold this stuff. God said, I'm trying to open you up. But listen what he did to that servant. Go ahead.
27. But those my enemies, which would not that I should reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me.
God said, look, these are my enemies that would not bring them here. I'm going to kill them. This is the qualification to get in those cities. It got something to do with your money, and also it got something to do with your obedience. All of this is intertwined together. Because one thing I notice about anybody, if they believe in a vision or a dream for themselves, if they tell me the vision, the dream of themselves, I'm asking them, how much money you got for your vision? Well, Jeff, I ain't got no money. I just brought you the vision so you can put your money up. You don't believe in your vision then. You want somebody else to put their money in your vision and you keep your money in your pocket? It don't work like that. That's why I be telling God, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Oh, I want my money. I want my money. I want my money. I want to do what I want to do with my money. I give him a little bit. But God looking at you. His checks and balances here. Just like you balance your account, God got an account, he balances too. Let me see how much money she spent on the shoes. Let me see how much money he spent on the car. Let me see how much money he spent on the Jordan. Let me see how much money he spent on the sweatsuits, chains, gold, and all this stuff. Then I'm going to see how much money he put toward the gospel. I'll give him $1. What? Come on, man. All the stuff we got in our houses, we don't need all that stuff. We don't need all that stuff. And I had to learn that some years ago. I ain't talking about, I'm talking about I had to learn that some years ago. Like, man, what are you doing? You're just accumulating this stuff. You're just buying this stuff. You be putting forth the gospel. But this is one of the qualifications of being a God. He looking at you like, okay, I'm going to put he or she over these cities if they do the right thing with my money. Because all the money that we make in this world, God gives it to us. And he only asks for 10% if you really want to know it. That's his measuring stick. That ain't nothing. We finished with that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's go to Hebrews chapter 1. Why did God create man? Why did he make man? What purpose? It's some people really got mad. I ain't gonna say people, it's some angels really kind of upset with God a little bit because they started asking him a question like, man, you give this man all this power? Wait a minute now. We more powerful than he is. Yeah, angel, you more powerful than I am now. But when I become on that throne, guess what? I'm gonna be your daddy. An angel, I'm gonna run you. If I make it, I'm gonna run you. This is what God created man to dominate, have dominion over the earth. A righteous dominion. Now, there ain't nobody this ain't the dominion that our slave master taught us. How you just beat somebody up. No, it's gonna be righteous, it's gonna be fair. And how are we gonna know it's gonna be fair? Because the law's still gonna be on the table. We got to learn by it. Hebrews chapter 1 and verse 5. Let me show you this angel. He felt some type of way. He's like, man, what is this man you mind for giving him all this power? Verse 5, go ahead.
For unto which of the angels said he at any time, Thou art my son, this day have I forgotten thee.
You have verse 5?
Yes, sir.
For unto his angel hath he not put in subjection to the world to come. You read Hebrews chapter 1, verse 5?
Verse 5.
Read that again.
For unto which of the angels said at any time, Thou art my son.
Excuse me, I'm in the wrong place. Hebrews chapter 2. My fault. Hebrews chapter 2 in verse 5. My fault. I was like, man, they're reading different. I think what I wanted. Go ahead, brother.
For unto the angels hath he not but put in subjection the world
Go ahead.
For unto the angels hath he not put in subjection the world to come.
Mm-hmm.
Wherefore we speak.
He's telling us right here. He said, this world to come, the angels will not run this. I'm going to give it to you, which are gods at the time. But it's one angel were looking at him like, man, what are you doing? Go ahead.
But one in a certain place testified, saying, What is man that thou art mindful of him?
He said, what is this man that you are mindful of him? Go ahead.
Or the Son of Man, that thou visitest him.
He said, what is the Son of Man in Jesus? What is this man? Man is a species, a race, man. Why are you putting all this power in his hands? We've been with you here. We've been with you all this time, but you're going to give it to this flesh and blood being to be God's. Go ahead.
Thou madest him a little lower than the angels. Thou crownest him with glory and honor.
Yes, sir.
And didst set him over the works of thy hands.
See, I told you. He's going to set him on the works of thy hands to conduct the business of God.
Come on.
So if you don't want to run nothing, you're in the wrong place here. Get it right in your mind. He got a job for you. Ain't no sideline sitting right here. Go ahead.
8. Thou hast put all things in subjection under his feet.
Wait a minute. Thou hast put all things in the subjection. Everything that's upon this earth, we're going to run, including the angels. Period. Go ahead.
For in that he put all in subjection under him.
Mm-hmm.
He left nothing that is not put under him. But now we see not yet all things put under him.
Because that time hasn't happened yet.
That's right.
It's not yet now.
Amen.
This is the future.
Amen.
And I'm going to show you that he's not just talking about Jesus or the Messiah. Go ahead.
But we see Jesus, who was made a little lower than the angels for the suffering of death,
Yes, sir.
crowned with glory and honor, that he by the grace of God should taste death for every man.
Yes, sir. He showed that he tastes death for every man. He went on the cross, so we want to go straight to hell. Go ahead.
For it became him for whom are all things, and by whom are all things, and bringing many sons unto glory.
He said, hold on now. He said, whom of all things bringing many sons into glory. Who are those sons?
Hallelujah.
Who are those sons?
Amen.
Them the ones that are going to run the kingdom. So he's not just talking about Christ. He's talking about the ones that obtain salvation. This is what God created man for. I'm going to be able to call Jesus brother. What's up, bro, Jesus? I'm not going to be fearing him like I'm fearing him now. I'm going to be his equal. He said, count it not robbery to be equal with God. Did what Jesus told the Father, told them about the Father. When you a brother, you equal. Go ahead, listen to what he said right here.
To make the captain of their salvation perfect through sufferings.
What verse you at? You finished with that one? Go ahead. To make the captain of their salvation perfect through suffering. We got to go through something to get this. We got to go through some pain to get this. We got to sacrifice our time, our money, everything to get this. And he checking it as we already read. Go ahead.
For both he that sanctifieth and they who are sanctified are all of one.
Understand, he said for both who are sanctified and those that are sanctified are all in one. Because you have to be sanctified either to God or you have to be sanctified to the devil. Right now, he's talking about being sanctified to God, which is Jesus right now. Listen to what he said. Go ahead.
For which cause he is not ashamed to call them brethren.
Woo! He said, for this cause, he ain't ashamed to say, what's up, bro, Jesus? We ain't gonna be living like, oh man, that's God right here. No, he gonna be like a brother. We the family now. It's like you giving your brother a high five. What's up, brother? They're like, hey man, this is my brother right here. I'm comfortable with him. This is why God created man, to be God, period, to run this world. Go ahead.
12, saying, I will declare thy name unto my brethren. In the midst of the church will I sing praise unto thee.
He said, I will declare my name unto thy brethren. Understand, ain't but two in the Godhead now. The Father and the Son, that's it. But now, it's going to be many in the Godhead. In this 1,000 years that we're going to be upon earth, when we ruling and reigning. You got to be picked now. This is the first round draft pick right here. I want to be in this first round draft pick, which is called the first resurrection. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 9. Let me show you that Jesus is talking about a government we're going to run. Why did God create man? Did he create him to fly around in the solar systems? Did he create him to fly from planet to planet, visiting planets? That's something you got from the astronauts. These dummies trying to say they're going to the moon. I don't believe they went to the moon. I don't believe that. But that's just me. It don't make salvation or not. But this is what I'm looking for right here. Isaiah chapter 9. Let's look at what he's called to do. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. Go ahead.
For unto us a child is born. Unto us a son is given.
Yes, sir.
And the government shall be upon his shoulders.
Wait a minute. He said, unto us a child is born? Yes, sir. Jesus was given to us for salvation. Yes, sir. And he said, a government. This is a business right here that's going to sit on his shoulder. Go ahead.
And his name shall be called Wonderful.
Yes, sir.
Counselor, the mighty God, the everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace.
He wearing all of them titles. I got a good thing for you. Make sure you understand when God said, let us create man in our image, that wasn't the Father talking. That was Jesus telling the Father, hey, let's make God in our image. Let's make man in our image. I'm going to show you that. Go ahead.
Of the increase of his government and peace.
Yes, sir.
There shall be no end.
So we talking about a particular system that got to be ran upon this earth. It's a government. Just like the United States government, they got mayors, they got different type of Republican, Democrats, and all this. So that's just an example. Where do you think they got this from? The Bible. They got 24 elders, just like they got 24 judges. They got 12 judges. They got the House of Representatives. I don't know how it goes, but everything spanned from the Bible. This is what they got the example from. God. Go ahead.
Upon his kingdom, upon the throne of David, and upon his kingdom to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, ever forever.
This is
even
what he
forever.
That's it.
The zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this.
How long is forever? Forever. He's going to make sure he hire people, hire man to run this particular government. This is why you created here. Not to go out and spend, Not to go out and do what your feelings feel like doing. You got to make sure you center everything around God's kingdom. Everything. Everything. Just want to show y'all the government. Go ahead.
The Lord sent a word into Jacob, and it hath lightened up upon Israel.
See, when Israel hear this and they understand who they are, it's a light that comes on. Because this ain't what I was taught as a little boy. I was taught as a little boy, I'm going to heaven. That's what I taught. I was taught that Satan got a domain barbecuing people down under the ground. That's what I was taught. But when I read this book, ain't nobody going to heaven. When I read this book, Satan, the lake of fire, gonna be in the kingdom of Jerusalem, and you gonna be able to see them burning. It's in the book. Read Isaiah chapter 66, the last few verses of it. This is when God set up the kingdom. This is stuff that most people don't worry about. If you don't know this, you cannot conduct the business of God. Let's go to John chapter 10. This is why God created man. To be a God just like him. And he said it all over the book. I used to say back in the day, them cats from New York, they used to always say, "What's up, God?" I said, man, I'm talking blasphemy, calling people God. But we didn't understand that that is our title right now. It is our title, but we just ain't transformed into that spiritual body that he's going to give us. I'm going to let Jesus tell you, Abraham, that he called you gods. John chapter 10, verse 33. Go ahead.
The Jews answered him, saying, For a good work we stone thee not, but for blasphemy, and because that thou, being a man, makest thyself God.
I guarantee you go out and tell people the word like, I'm God. They're like, you blaspheming against God. You ain't no God. I said, you ain't read what Jesus said. Go ahead.
Jesus answered them, Is it not written in your law, I said, ye are gods?
He asked the question. Is it not written in your law? We just read that in Psalms 82. He judges amongst the congregation of the gods. This is what he created you for. Go ahead.
If he called them gods unto whom the word of God came, and the scriptures cannot be broken.
It can't be broken. If he called you God, what you worried about it for? It's just that your mentality of your understanding of God hasn't been brought up to speed yet. Just like mine was. I was thinking so simple. Like, I'm going to fly away. I'm going to go and visit from planet to planet. I'm going to be walking on the streets of gold, get my wings, all them lies. If you know anything about the seventh trumpet, this whole solar system, he said the heaven's going to roll back into the scroll. He's going to destroy all this up here. So you're going to actually see what is God dealing with. We like in a bubble. In a bubble. And this bubble is the solar system. When he comes back, he's going to peel back all of that. You're going to see actually what's in the third heaven. Woo, that's powerful. You finished with that?
We got 30.
Go ahead.
We got 2 more. Say ye of him whom the Father hath sanctified, and sent into the world, thou blasphemest, because I said I am the Son of God.
And that's what people are black. They're like, man, you ain't gonna be no God. They tell you that all the time. But you tell them that God is recreating him through me. I'm gonna be a God. I'm gonna be able to create a song. Watch how they look at you. Where you get this from? The Bible you take to church every Sunday. Go ahead.
37. If I do not the works of my Father, believe me not. But if I do, thou ye believe not me. Believe the works believe the works that ye may know, and believe that the Father is in me and I in him.
See, Jesus want to make sure that we understand that also. The works that we're doing, these are God's works. The Father's in us, and also Jesus is in us too, because they are all on the same wavelength. They speaking the same words. It's just that in this kingdom right here, it's Jesus' kingdom. The Father gonna bring his kingdom down on the 8th day, if you understand the Feast of Tabernacle. This is what it's getting down to, conducting the business of God. How can you conduct the business of God when you're consuming all this stuff in the world on your lust? Get in this. Let's go to Genesis chapter 1. God been telling us all the way back in the first book of what he wanted man to do. Genesis chapter 1 and verse 26. This is why God created man. He started off in Genesis chapter 1. Did you read that? Go ahead, bro.
And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowls of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth.
That sounds like some, when he said dominion, he wanted man to dominate their supreme power over everything. And he started the playing ground or the practice field in the Garden of Eden.
That's right.
But Adam and Eve flunked the test. They wasn't supposed to die. They supposed to live. We supposed to be talking to them right now. But he said, look, I'm creating you to have dominion over everything. Go ahead.
So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them.
So where we get these wings from? When he tells us we're going to fly away. If you want to know what God look like, he look like me. He have 2 arms, legs, butt, feet, and all that. He look like you. Same thing. We created his image. We ain't got no wings. That's an angel. That Ezekiel chapter 1 talks about that, what an angel look like. Want 4 heads, 6 wings with eyes over the wings, on a hand on the wing, cast feet. We don't look like that. God created us to have dominion over the earth. Go ahead.
And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply.
And said, God said, bless them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth. Brother, have a problem with the Bible. Go ahead.
Replenish the earth and subdue
it.
Subdue it and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowls of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth.
So what did I tell you right now? When you got that kind of power, that means that God is really putting you as a God just like him. But the Garden of Eden was the training ground. And right now, the training ground is still going on with us in this world. And I want to make sure everybody understands this was Jesus talking right here. Let's go to John chapter 1. Let me show you that. John 1:1. How you gonna say that with Jesus? Jesus wasn't created till Mary came here. I got something to tell you. Jesus always been here from the beginning. He just came through Mary. He had to put that flesh on. He prepared a body in Mary's body. John chapter 1, we're gonna start at verse 1. Let me show you that the Father did create this stuff on this earth. Christ did everything. Verse 1, John 1:1, go ahead.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God.
Wait a minute now. I don't see with two spirit beings here. In the beginning was the Word, and we know the Word is Jesus, and the Word was God and was with God.
Come on, bro.
So Jesus is a God too? Yes. Go ahead.
The same was in the beginning with God,
Yes, sir.
and all things were made by him.
Wait a minute. All things were made by Jesus? So you mean to tell me he made the Garden of Eden? He made the sun, the moon, the earth, the stars, everything you see, Jesus made this because this is his prototype. This is his world right now.
Glory.
Go ahead.
All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made.
Wait a minute. He said without him, anything wasn't made. So if you got a problem with me telling you that God told man to have dominion in Genesis chapter 1, and I'm telling you that that is Jesus, you got a problem in the New Testament too, because he said all things were made by him. Go ahead.
In him was life, and the life was the light of men.
Yes, sir.
And the light shined in darkness, and the darkness could comprehend it not.
You He said, the light shine in darkness, and the darkness comprehendeth it not. Meaning that wherever Jesus' word going, light gonna flick on. If you teaching this word, light gonna flick on in people's mind. If God find them worthy. Go ahead.
There was a man sent from God whose name was John.
Yes, sir.
The same came for a witness to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe.
Yes, sir. We talking about Jesus right here. Go ahead.
He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world.
When God said, let there be light, we ain't talking about sun and moon. He cut the light on the solar system. Outside of the solar system also, let there be light. Because he said in Genesis chapter 1, he said, let there be light first, and then he created the sun and the moon later. So we deal with two different lights, and that's another lesson though. But keep going.
10. He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not.
Wait a minute, the world was made by who? Jesus. Everything that you see in this world, trees, water, dirt, everything, animals, snakes, all this stuff was made by Jesus. He's the architect of this world. Go ahead.
He came unto his own, and his own received him not.
Just like we come into our own, we tell them, you're the Israelites. You have a law to follow by. You can be a God one day. Man, get out of here with that mess. Where you get this from? They'll shut you down real quick because inside them churches, they not taught this. Go ahead.
But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of God.
What? What did that tell you right there? That's power as sons of God. Go ahead.
Even to them that believe on his name.
What? We believe on Jesus? Yeah. He gave them power. That's what I want. That's what you should want. Power, not money. It's okay. Money just a tool. Gold just a tool. All this material stuff just tools that a man can use. When you take your focus off this stuff, it'll come to you. But your focus on it, you're going to be focusing on the wrong thing. Just like that man was building two big barns and God said, fool, tonight you're going to die. And he thought he had all that wealth he's going to spend. And God said, your soul is required tonight. What you going to do if you're not studying this to understand the operation of God? Go ahead.
13. Which were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God.
So they tell us right here, Jesus wasn't born, not the will of man, not of blood, not of water. Which was born not of the blood, and nor of the flesh, and nor the will of man. And folks said, well, Jesus was inside of Mary. No, that was the will of God. He was God then. It wasn't man will. Oh, that's a Joseph's son. He just didn't want to put him away. Keep playing with that. Go ahead.
And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. He's
the only one that's in the Godhead, the only one that begotten of the Father. Ain't but two in the Godhead right now. The Father and the Son. That's it. Don't let these simple Hebrews cross you up now, because they crossed me up for a lot of years. You finished with that?
Yeah, that was.
Go ahead.
I don't know.
So verse 18. Jump down to verse 18. All right.
No man has seen God at any time. The only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared him.
Wait a minute, I thought Adam and Eve seen God. He just said, no man here. Somebody wrong. Or the Bible contradicts itself? No, no man ain't seen the Father at any time. You seen Jesus. Let me show you that no man has seen the Father. Let's go to John chapter 5 right here. Same book. John chapter 5 and verse 37. Wait a minute, Jim. Now, Adam and Eve talking to the Father. No, you don't understand. That wasn't the Father back then now. Well, he said, let us create man in our image. That was Jesus. John chapter 5, verse 37. Let's see what Jesus said about, has anybody heard the Father or seen the Father? Because we know he ain't gonna lie. Go ahead.
And the Father himself, which hath sent me, hath borne witness of me.
Mm-hmm.
Ye have neither heard his voice at any time, nor seen his shape.
What did that say? You have neither heard his voice at any time or seen his shape. I got a question now. Who that God? Who talking to Adam and Eve?
Jesus.
Jesus. Go ahead.
And ye have not his word abiding in you, for whom he hath sent, him ye believe not. Search the scriptures, for in them ye think ye have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me.
If you learn these scriptures from Genesis to Revelation, you'll see that Jesus had played a very important part in every one of these books. Everyone. Search them. Like when you understand the holy days, how he tells us that he's a shadow of everything. That means that Jesus shadowed everything in the law and he performed it and fulfilled it. That's all it says right there when he said he's a shadow. Go ahead.
And ye will not come to me that ye might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that ye have not the love of God in you.
A lot of people don't have the love of God in them because they'll tear you down from telling this. Like, you wrong. That was Adam and the Father talking. That wasn't Jesus. Jesus came by Mary. That ain't what it says here. Go ahead.
I am come in my Father's name, and ye receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive.
They always do that. Folks said that. He said, I ain't even come in my name. If you understand the scripture, Jesus' name in Genesis was Jehovah. That's his name. He said, now I come in my Father's name. So I got a quick question. If the Jesus name, we dealing with English talking people here. If Jesus' name, Jesus, what's the Father's name? Jesus. Simple. If Jesus' name in Hebrew was Yahshua, what's the Father's name? Yahshua. I'm all off the script right now. I'm all off the script. Let's go to Revelation.
It's all right, bro.
I'm just showing you that God is creating God here. This is why he created man, to have dominion on this earth. Revelation 21. Revelation 21, verse 1. Let me show you here that even the Father himself knows that the Father don't want to live in heaven. He coming down. He wants to have some dominion on this earth. He wants to be amongst his brethren. He wants to be there. Verse 1, go ahead.
And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea.
Because God is cleaning this whole earth up. He's going to clean it up from top to bottom. Everything's going to be pure. When that 1,000 year here, it's going to be pure. No pollution, no toxin, no nothing. He said, look, the first heaven and the first earth was gone away. He's not going to run it like that. But this is when the Father come down with his kingdom. Go ahead.
And I, John, saw the holy city near Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
So the Father's bringing a city down too?
Yes, he is.
This is on the 8th day. This is why we celebrate the Feast of Tabernacle, or something called the Booths. This is why we celebrate. These old tabernacles got to be tore off. When the Father brings the tabernacle down, this is where he's going to have the family God house right here. Right here. This is the family God house. Then you're going to be able to walk on streets and go. This is the time. Go ahead.
3. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of God is with them, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them, and be their God.
So God is coming down to be with his people. We're going to be a family. Go ahead.
And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away.
Because whether you know, there's going to be some pain in Jesus' kingdom now. It's going to be some pain because the lake of fire going to be burning in Jesus' kingdom. Because the devil, it's the false prophet and the beast going to be thrown in the lake of fire first, and you're going to see them every day, burning for 1,000 years. And then Satan, at the end of 1,000 years, when he judged, God can throw him in there. Next. So you'll see some pain, but right at this time, he said, none of that. You won't be having no pain, no crying, or nothing. When the Father bring his kingdom down. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto them, Write, for these words are true and faithful.
Jump down to verse 7. He said he made all things new. Go ahead. Well, you say it. You say it.
And he said unto me, It is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the fountain of the waters of life freely.
Yes, sir.
He that overcometh shall inherit all things, and I will be his God, and he shall be my son.
So if you're a son of God, what that makes you? A God. Simple.
Peace, God.
Peace, God. That's good. We're going to end off that. I can give you a little more. But I want to make sure everybody understands the title of the lesson is, why did God create man? He created man to have dominion upon this earth. Period. That's it. This is why he created God. Created man. We're going to take up the offering. If you have anything to give, we're going to read the announcements. You got it?
But they'll see.
I got mine.
You got yours? Okay.